Okay, so good morning, students, and welcome to the online lecture for this engineering graphics. In today's lecture, we'll take the quick look of the two units, whatever we have covered, that is unit number one and the unit number three. Okay, and from Thursday, we will start with the next unit, that is unit number four. So for your unit test, this unit number one and unit number three is there. Okay, the examination is the MCQ based. Now, so let us start with the unit number one. What we have studied in unit number one. We have just taken the definitions of the engineering drawing, that it is a universal language for the engineers. Okay, and in all the applications and for all the streams, that means all the departments, this engineering graphics, it is very important. Okay, so initially we have discussed about this NSEM and the okay, so there is no NSEM for this examination for this engineering graphics. Initially, I have told you that the examination will be only on the 4 units, but now as far as the circular of the university, the examination will be based on all the 6 units. Okay, so starting from unit number one to unit number six. Okay, so you have to refer all the that means MCQs and the video lectures from unit number 1 to 6. Okay, the examination is also again the MCQ based. Okay, so we have discussed all these things. That means whatever the applications of this engineering graphics in all fields of the engineering. The next topic we have discussed, that is the drawing instrument. So MCQ questions will start from here. Okay, so drawing board. So drawing board. So that is the most important drawing instrument that is used for the engineering graphics. Okay. Now here what that means on which topic this on which the parameter they will ask the MCQs. So they will ask the MCQs on this one, D0, D1, D2, D3 designation and this length. Okay. So they will provide you, that means suppose D2. So now we have seen that for first year engineering students, this D2 type, the drawing board is recommended. So you have to remember this one, D2. They will provide, suppose the D2 size drawing board, it is having the dimensions of like this. So MCQ questions will be will be asked something like this. Okay, so D2 size drawing board, it is used or which type of paper is used. So here it is A2 size paper, it is used for the D2 size drawing board. Okay, so you have to just remember this one, D0, D1, D2 and D3 designations of this drawing board is from D for drawing board, and it is starting from 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, remember the length and width, because in MCQ question chances are there they will ask the dimensions also. So concentrate mostly on the D2, because that we are generally use for our drawing instrument, drawing the drawing that means the drawings, engineering drawings. Okay, then drawing sheet. Okay, here also it is the same for similar to that of the drawing board. Here there are the sizes from A0 to A5, where A0 is the bigger one and A5 is the smaller one. Okay, so it is increasing from A0 to A5. For our engineering, first year engineering students, we are recommending what, A2 size drawing sheet. Okay, so in offline mode, we are using this A2 size drawing sheet for our this is the size of that drawing sheet. Okay, and this we are using for construction of all the drawings. Okay, so you have to remember this A2, and the size is what, it is 420 by 594 mm. This is all dimensions are in mm. Okay, the another question will be, they will give you this A0, A1, A2, A3, A4, 5, and they will ask which drawing sheet is having the maximum dimension. So remember this, it is starting from A0. A0 is the highest size and A5 is the minimum size. Okay, so likewise question they will ask. Okay, so whenever you refer any any data, okay, so whenever you refer, just make the MCQ questions from your own. So so from this table, what will they will ask? So we have this designation. So they will ask this regarding this designation, or they will give you A2, A3, A4, A2, A3, A4. Out of this, which is having the maximum size, or A1, A2, A3, what is the having the maximum size? So you have to just remember the sequence. So it is starting from A0 and it is going to A5. Okay, so A0 is bigger one and A5 is a smaller one. So, okay, so this is A5, it is A0. Okay, and the smaller one is the A5. So this is the smaller one, that is the A5, like this. Okay, so MCQ question will be based on something like this. Then the clips. So here the clips are there. So which what we are using? So we are using clips. We are using the clips. We are using pins, and we are using this adhesive tape. So what is the function of this one? Okay, so these are used for for fixing this drawing sheet on the drawing board. Okay, so the MCQ question will be identify the instruments used for fixing the drawing sheet on the drawing board. So options will be given: the clips, then pins, and then adhesive tapes. Okay, and the fourth option is what? All of the above. Okay, so all these three things are used for fixing the drawing sheet on the drawing board. So that is your the question. Okay, so you have to select the correct answer. Okay, if a single thing is given, so you have to use you have to select the single one. Otherwise, if all these three things are given, so then all these three things are used for fixing the drawing sheet on the drawing board. Okay, so these are only for fixing the drawing sheet on the drawing board. Then pencils. So here the pencils means here the H and twice H are used for H and twice H are used for the starting of the drawing. So whenever you start any drawing, okay, whenever you start any drawing, so we have to use which two pencils? H and twice H pencils we have to use. Okay, HB pencil it is used for dimensioning. HB pencil is used for dimensioning, and the final that means the sketch, okay, or final outline. So HB pencil it is used for final outline, while the H and twice H pencils are used for the starting of the drawing. When you start any drawing in the engineering graphics, you always start that using the H and twice H pencil. Okay, and HB pencils are used for giving the dimensioning. Okay, these are used for using the dimensioning. So this type of question they will ask in the examination. Okay, then we have the sets T square. So for what purpose these are used? The T square it is used for drawing the horizontal lines. This is only used for drawing the horizontal lines. Okay, this T square it is only used for drawing the horizontal lines, not the inclined lines. Okay, you can't draw the inclined lines using this T square. The T square it is only used for drawing the horizontal lines. Okay, so these are the different types of the T square. Now suppose if you have to draw this the inclined line, so what you have to use? So we have to use the set square. So along with the T square, we have to use the set squares now. Now there are two types of set square. So they will ask these questions in the examination. So identify the type of the set square from the following option. So one set square is of 45 degree, and another set square is of 30-60 degree. Okay, 30 60 degree set square. So there are two types of set square. One is 45 degree, and another one is what? 30-60 set square. So these two set square we have to use along with the T square, along with the T square, to draw now horizontal lines also, vertical lines also, and at the same time you can draw here inclined line also. Okay, so that is possible only using what the sets the combination of the T square and the set square. The using T square we can't draw the inclined lines. Okay, using T square we can only draw the horizontal lines. Okay, so that you have to remember. Okay, and for drawing the inclined lines we have to use combination of T square and the set square. Okay, so that you have to remember. So this type of questions will come on the set square. Sometimes they will give the image of this set square, and they will ask which type of instrument is this one. So you have to identify the type of instrument also. So remember the images also. Now the combination of all these compass, then the scale, okay, all these things are there. So that is in the form of the mini drafter. So mini drafter, it replace the combination of T square and this set square. So everything whatever we can do using this T square and set square, so combinedly we can use only using the mini drafter. So mini drafter we can draw horizontal lines, vertical lines, inclined lines, anything we can do using the mini drafter. Okay, so this is the mini drafter is there, and nowadays that means all the engineers they are using the mini drafters only for construction of the drawing. Okay, in olden days we are using this T square plus set square. Okay, but nowadays we are using this mini drafter for the construction of the drawings. Now compass, what is the function of the compass? To draw the arcs. Okay, to draw the arcs, circles, and everything. Okay, so if the radius is more, so we have to make use of lengthening bar. So MCQ question will be, what is the use of, or why this lengthening bar is used in the compass? So lengthening bar is when we are using this lengthening bar. So when there is then the radius is more. When the radius is more, okay. So we have to make use of this lengthening bar. So we can draw a circle of bigger radius. We can draw the circle of bigger radius. Okay, so that is not possible using this compass. Okay, so it is having some limited radius. Okay, but if the radius is bigger, okay, so if the radius is large, so you have to make use of the, you have to attach here lengthening bar. So just remember this one. This is the another the what the that means attachment to the compass. Okay, lengthening bar is the attachment to the compass. Okay, now French curve we have seen. We make use of this French curve in our curves while drawing the curves. Okay, so we are using here this French curve for drawing the ellipse, then hyperbola, parabola. Okay, then cycloids. Okay, so in all the curves we have used this French curve. So these are used for drawing the arcs. Okay, for drawing the arcs. So these are used for drawing the arcs here. So French curve is used for only for drawing the arcs, and it is made up of which material? It is made up of acrylic material. Okay, so that also you have to remember. They will ask in the examination. So acrylic. Okay, so like this. Okay, now roller and draw scale. So roll and draw scale, using this roll and draw scale, you can draw horizontal lines, you can draw inclined lines, you can draw circles also. Okay, everything you can draw. Okay, so that is possible using the roll and draw scale. So always I strongly recommend you to use this roller scale only. Do not use the common scale, that is the normal scale. Do not use the normal scale. Always make use of this roller scale. Okay. So this is because here easily we can draw anything. That means parallel lines, then inclined lines, and all the other things. Protector. So it is now you know this one. So protectors are used for drawing for marking the angles. Okay. So we can mark here the angles. So using the protector. So for that one, the protector is used. After that, we have seen the sheet layout. So here chances are very less for asking the question because this is the theoretical part. Here we are okay. So we have seen the initial size. Initial sheet is in the form of untrimmed sheet. Then we have to, that means the untrimmed size is there. So that is the bigger size. We have to use the trim size. So you remember this two name here because this is also important. Untrimmed size means what? It is the maximum size of that sheet. Okay. Suppose if you take A2 sheet. Okay. If you take A2 sheet, so that will 450 by 625. It will come in the untrimmed size. It will come in the form of untrimmed size. For the drawing we require here 420 by 594. That means we have to reduce its dimension. So initially it will come in untrimmed sheet. Untrimmed sheet means it is the original size of the sheet. But we don't require untrimmed sheet. We require what? Trim size. So we have to draw then again one rectangle of the trim size. Okay, 420 by 594. Initially it is of 450 by 625. So initially then we have to draw that. Now distance between, again this you have to remember. They may ask these questions in the examination. What is margin? Margin is the distance between untrimmed sheet and the trim size or trim sheet. You can call this as a sheet also. Okay. So the distance, see the space between, see this is trim size and this one is untrimmed size. So the space between these two, it is called as the margin. It is called as the margin. Now, why this? We have seen this one folding mark. Why these folding marks are marked on the sheets? Because this sheet is bigger, so you can't fold it by any corner. So you have to fold it along some specific lines only. So that's why these folding marks are marked on the drawing sheet. Okay, so that is already there on the drawing sheet. Title block. What is the use of this title block? Title block gives us the information regarding the what type of drawings we are drawn on the drawing sheet. Okay, or all the information regarding the drawing. Who has drawn the drawing? Who has checked the drawing? What is the standards? Who has approved the drawing? What is the drawing number? What is the title of that drawing? Which type of scale is used? Okay, in which that means format. That means first angle projection method or third angle projection method. So likewise, all the information of the drawing sheet that is given by means of this title block. So function of the title block is to what? It gives all the information regarding the drawing sheet. Okay, so that is the main function of our drawing sheet. Then we have seen the types of the scale. Okay, so this scale is also important. There are three types of the scale. One is called the reduction scale, another one is called the enlargement scale, and the next one, the third one is called the full scale. Now reduction scale means what? Reduction means what? Something is bigger. we can't draw that one on our drawing sheet, so we'll reduce the dimension. Okay, so that is called the reduction scale. So I have told you the first this numerical, or this first numerical, it is of the we are drawing. This is the dimensions on the drawing. First is what? It is the dimensions on the drawing. This is on the drawing. We are drawing on the drawing sheet. And the second one is on the actual dimension. This is our actual dimension. The actual is what? 10. Actual is 10. But we are taking what? Only 1. Okay. For 10 mm, let us take, suppose this is 10 mm. And we are taking what? Only 10 mm. That means, see, the actual distance is how much? It is 10 mm. Okay. But on drawing, I am taking only 1. I am taking only 1. So what I am doing, I am reducing the dimension. So that's why this is called as the reduction scale. This is called as the reduction scale. See, it is very easy. They will give you this type of the scale and they will ask you which type of the scale is there. Okay, either this is reduction scale or enlargement scale or the full scale. So you have to identify the scale. So it is very easy to identify the scale. See, always remember the first, the numerical, or that the number that denotes what? Our dimension, that dimensions on the drawing. First number is on the dimensions on the drawing. Second number is the actual dimension. For all the scale, second number is the actual dimension, and the first number is the dimensions we are taking on the drawing. Now you see here, this is 10. For 10 we are taking 1, so we are reducing it. Okay, that means for 10 we are taking 1, so we are reducing it. So it is a reduction scale. If you see here this scale, okay, if you see this type of scale here, for 1 I am taking 10. For 1 I am taking 1. That means this is 1. This is the original dimensions of the drawing. But for this I am taking 10. So what I am doing here, I am increasing the scale. Okay. So that's why this is called as the enlargement scale. So your MCQ question, they will give you this type of the scale. And the last one is the full scale. Full scale means what? It is 1:1. This is also 1. This is also 1. Or this is 10 and this is also 10. Okay. So same dimensions. Okay. If 10 is there, actual dimension on and of the object, and we are taking 10 on the drawing. So this is full scale. So always remember, this is very easy. Okay. So for 10 we are taking 1, it is reduction. For 1 we are taking 10, that is enlargement. So this is very simple. Okay. So just remember this one. So in MCQ you will get this type of the questions here. They will ask you identify the type of the scale from the given ratio. So they will give you, suppose 1:500. So for 500 I have taken only 1, so it is a reduction scale. They will give you, suppose 15:1. So for 1 I have taken 50, so it is a enlargement scale. Okay, likewise. So here also for 1 I have taken 5, enlargement scale. For 1 I have taken 2, so this is enlargement scale. For 200 I have taken 1, so this is a reduction scale. Okay, likewise. So it is a simple logic, just remember that one. Now this is the most important part of this the unit number 1. You will get maximum questions from unit number 1 on this drawing, on this this part, types of lines. Okay, so they will ask you, so they will give you the type of the line. So they will give you this type of line, and they will ask you which type of line is there. So you have to identify the type of the line. So this is the cutting plane line. Whenever circle is there, we have to use the center line. Okay, for drawing the outline, so that we have that outline. And then for dimensioning line, then we have extension lines. Okay, whenever we cut any that means any part or any model the solid part object. So when we cut any object, we get section lines. We have to cut the cut part. The cut part, it is shown using the section line. So this is very important. I have told you the section lines are drawn at angle of 45 degree. Okay, so this will definitely will be the questions in the examination. Section lines are inclined at. So you have to remember this one. This is inclined at 45 degree. So here this is given. It is inclined at 45 degree. Okay. So this so these types of lines are there. Now, for what purpose these hidden lines are used? Hidden lines are used to show the parts which are not visible to the observer. So if any part is not visible to the observer, but it is there, it is on the back side, but it is not visible to the observer, then that part we have to show by means of the hidden line. Okay. So likewise, they will ask the questions. Later line, it is used for showing the dimension, or they will just give you the type, the line like this, and they will ask you which type of line is there. So this is a leader line. Okay. Then they will give you something like this. So which type of line is there? So this is the center line. Okay. Then they will give you this type of line. They will ask you, this is a cutting plane line. something like this. They will ask the questions in the examination. Okay, so you have to remember all these the type of the lines here. So I have already given you, just read all these lines here. This is very the simple one, and whenever you see this one, so just see here it is given B. A dimensioning line means it is B. So B is here. So this is the dimension line. Okay. So read the theory from here, and the line, the type of the line is given here. Okay. So all types of lines are given, are mentioned here. So remember that where we have to use that one. So if you remember where to use that thing, that line, so it is very easy for you to answer all the questions. Okay. Then the next is we have seen the dimensioning methods. Okay. So there are two types of the dimensioning method. One is called the aligned system, and the another one is called the unidirectional system. Now, what is the difference between these two? Now, in aligned system, see, horizontal dimension is horizontal. In a horizontal dimension, the dimension is marked at the center above the line. Here, the dimension is maintained above the line, and the vertical dimension is readable from right hand side. Take your right hand side. See, this is your right hand, and you are reading this dimension from right hand side. So 60, so you have to read like this. 28, you have to read like this. 30, you have to read like this. Okay. So this is called the aligned system. Now, what is the difference and what is the unidirectional system? In unidirectional system, the horizontal dimension it is mentioned at the center. It is mentioned at the center. While in aligned system, it is at the center but above the line. It is in aligned system, it is above the line. Okay, at the center, but it is above the line. In unidirectional system, it is at the center. It is perfectly at the center. Okay, here, not above the line, it is at the center. And here, this is the vertical dimensions are also, we can read directly from the front side. In unidirectional system, we can directly read this vertical dimension from the front side. Oh, and it is also at the center and cutting the line, cutting the dimension line. But while in case of this aligned system, it is at the center above the line and readable from right hand side. Okay, it is readable from the right hand side. So that is the difference between the two, aligned system and the unidirectional system. In engineering graphics, this aligned system is recommended, or we use this aligned system. Okay, we use this aligned system. Okay, so what is the difference between two? We have two type of system. One is aligned system and another is unidirectional system. The difference is only while mentioning the horizontal dimension and vertical dimension. In case of aligned system, the dimension is mentioned at the center above the line. While in case of this the unidirectional system, it is mentioned at the center of the line, cutting the line. Here this is unidirectional. This is aligned. Now in aligned system, this is 60. Here it is 60. Readable from right hand side. While in case of unidirectional system, it is at the center, cutting the line. It is at the center, cutting the line. So this is the unidirectional system, and this is our aligned system. So which type of the system is used in our engineering graphics? So we are using the aligned system. So, okay, so that you have to remember. Okay. Sometimes they will give you the sketch or something like this, and they will ask you which type of dimension is mentioned on this drawing. So you have to identify from the dimensions. Okay. From dimensions, we have to identify which type of the dimensions are from the drawings. We have to identify which type of the dimensions are mentioned on the drawing. Okay, so just refer this type of the drawing. Okay, so the methods of dimensioning. Okay, these are some of the examples. Okay, this is again some of the examples I have given. Okay. Okay, so likewise we have seen this is the total thing that is from our unit number 1. Okay. So this completes our unit number 1. Okay, now let us go for the next unit now, and quickly we'll take the revision of this one. So unit number 3. So it is primarily it is deal with the engineering course. Okay, so engineering course now, the third unit. So we have seen there are different types of the engineering cores: the conic sections, cycloids, we have involutes, we have spirals, and we have the helix. Okay. Now in this case, see, since your examination is MCQ, so you have to just remember what is the applications of this course. Okay. So whenever you read all this type of thing, just search the applications of this all the cores. Okay, where it is used, because in MCQ question, generally they will give you the application and they will ask you So which type of the curve will be generated by this application, something like this. Okay, so you have to remember that. And so now, for example, suppose this bridge. So if this image is given in the MCQ and they will ask which type of the curve is this one. So you can identify this is a parabola or hyperbola or this is the ellipse. So generally it is a ellipse type. Okay. So whenever the gear types are given, so now this is elliptical shape. So we call it this one. Now the arches. So these are of the parabola type. So something like this. Okay. So there are various applications. Okay. So and then from applications you have to identify the type of the curve. Okay, like this. Now, this is the most important part of this or this unit. So here I have told you. So we have the cone, and we have to cut this cone using the cutting plane. And now, based on the position of the cutting plane, the position of the cutting plane is very important. And based on that, you will get here the 3 types of MCQ questions from this slide. Okay, so how Ulysses form, how the parabola is formed, and how the hyperbola is formed. Now, when the cutting plane is inclined, to the axis, so that is the first condition. Cutting plane is inclined to the axis, and it cuts all the generator. I have told you what is meant by generator: a line joining the apex of the cone and the points on the base circle. This is a point on the circle, and this is apex. We call this as a apex. So a line joining from the apex to the base circle, point on the base circle, that is called the generators. Okay, that is called the generator. Okay, it is having number of generators. Okay, it is having number of generators. So if the cutting plane is it is inclined to the axis, that is the first condition. Second condition is it must cut all the generators. So then whatever the section which is obtained, that is called as the ellipse. So that is your first MCQ. Okay, that is your first MCQ. That is the okay. Now let us see for parabola. Now for parabola, the cutting plane is inclined to the axis. First condition is what? It is inclined to the axis, and it is parallel to one of the generator. This cutting plane is parallel to one of the generator. So if this condition is satisfied, then what will get the section obtained? It is called as the parabola. Okay. So first condition is same, that of the ellipse. The cutting plane is inclined to the axis. Second condition is what? It is parallel. If it is parallel to one of the generator, then the resulting conic section is a parabola. Okay, like this. And if it cuts all the generators, then the resulting section is a ellipse. Now, when we will get the hyperbola? So now here the cutting plane is not inclined. So that is not there. Here in case of hyperbola, the cutting plane is not inclined to the axis, but it is parallel to the axis. And on one side. See, this is on only one side of the axis. So then that type we get the rectangular hyperbola. So this is the condition for the rectangular hyperbola. When the axis is parallel to when the cutting plane is parallel to the axis on one side. Okay, it is cutting the cone. Cutting plane is cutting the cone on one side, and the cutting plane is parallel to the axis. So in that case, we'll get the rectangular hyperbola. This is called as rectangular hyperbola. Okay, so that you have to remember. So you just remember these 3 conditions. What are the 3 conditions? Cutting plane inclined to the axis, cutting all the generators, ellipse. Cutting plane inclined to the axis, parallel to one of the generator, parabola. Okay, parallel. So here, this is parabola is there. So you remember parallel. From parabola, you remember the parabola. Parabola. So cutting plane, if it is parallel to the generator, P here, parallel to the generator, parabola is there. For hyperbola, cutting plane is cutting the cone on one side, either this side or this side. You can get here also, on this side also. So here this is cutting on one side and parallel to the axis. So we'll get the rectangular hyperbola. Okay. So these 3 conditions are very important. Okay. This is very, very important. You will definitely get here the questions here on these 3 conditions. 100% you will get the questions on this one. Okay. So just remember these 3 conditions. This is very simple. Okay. So this is again there. This is the diagram. Then we have seen they will give you identify the conic sections from below. So they will give you circle is there, then involute is there, cycloid is there, okay, something like this. So circle, involute and cycloid are not the conic section. Involute and cycloid. So what are the conic sections? Circle, hyperbola, parabola, and ellipse. Out of these three, ellipse is a closed curve. Ellipse is a closed curve, while parabola and hyperbola, these are the open curves. So likewise, question they will also ask which conic section curve is closed. So closed curve is a ellipse, while open curve, these are open curves. They never close. They go something like this. They never close here. Which one? Parabola and hyperbola. But our ellipse is closed one. Okay, so this is closed here. Okay, and circle is also one type of the ellipse. The conic section. Okay, many times we forgot this one, circle. Okay, students only remember ellipse, parabola, and hyperbola, but circle is also the conic section. Okay, circle is also the one type of the conic section. Then we have seen the line division method. So I'm not going into details of this one now. You remember, you now know this one. So whenever the line is given, you have to draw one inclined line to that line. Then if I have to divide this line AB into 5 number of divisions, I have to take some distance in compass, and I have to mark the intersection here 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then last intersection you have to join with the end point of the line. Keep your roller scale here and roll it. Draw the line from 4, draw the line from 3, draw the line from 2, draw the line from 1. So all these lines must be parallel to this last line, which one? IUB line. So likewise we'll get the division of the line. Now this is very important again. There are different types of methods for drawing the ellipse, parabola, and hyperbola. Okay. Out of that, in our syllabus, we have focus directrix method and the rectangle method. Okay. We have to follow only 2 methods are there. So rectangle method and the focus directrix method. Now this is very important. Now what is meant by directrix? So directrix means it is a fixed line. Okay, so fixed line means what? Fixed line means it is called as the directrix, and a fixed point it is called as what? The focus. Fixed point it is called as the focus. Okay, so fixed point it is called as the focus, and a fixed line it is called as the directrix. Like that. Okay, like we have to remember. Now this is again very important. Eccentricity. Again 100% very important. You will get 100% questions on this one. Eccentricity. What is eccentricity? It is the ratio of distance of focus from the vertex. Okay, VF divided by distance of the vertex from the directrix, VC. Okay, distance of focus from the vertex, VF upon VC. Now this ratio is very important. If this ratio is less than 1, so then you have to construct ellipse. Or in MC question, they will ask something like this. For ellipse, the eccentricity value is less than 1. For parabola, the eccentricity value is equal to 1. For hyperbola, the eccentricity value is greater than 1. Okay, so this is the one type of question they will ask. Otherwise, they will give you the ratio. Suppose 2 by 3. If the eccentricity ratio is 2 by 3, which type of curve you will construct? Now, since this eccentricity ratio is less than 1, we have to construct the ellipse. Now, if the eccentricity ratio is greater than, or if the eccentricity ratio is 3 by 2, which type of curve you will construct? So now since the eccentricity ratio is greater than 1, so we have to construct here what? Hyperbola. We have to construct here hyperbola. Because for hyperbola, eccentricity is greater than 1. For parabola, they will not mention anything. They will give you that if the eccentricity value is equal to unity, this one is also called as what? Unity. If the eccentricity value is unity or it is equal to 1, so which type of curve you will construct? So you have to construct here the parabola. Okay, so likewise, this type of question they will ask in the examination. Okay, then we have seen different types of the construction methods. So just follow our previous the videos. Okay, and we have constructed this type of the course in our already we have covered this one in the previous lecture. Okay, then second method we have seen the types of the that is the parabola. Okay, likewise, this is the rectangle method we have seen. Now this is in the rectangle method. Again, this is very important. What is important? There are 2 axes are there in the ellipse. Okay, the longer axis, that is AB, it is called as major axis. This is called as major axis, and the smaller axis, it is called as what? It is called as the minor axis. So, okay, so that you have to remember. 2 axes are there in the ellipse. One is called as the major axis, another one is called as the minor axis. Okay, so these 2 are there. Then this is the construction methods for the rectangle. We have divided this AE and AO into equal number of divisions, and we have drawn it by a rectangle method. Okay, so just follow the previous construction method from our the. Okay, and for parabola, we have only two things. Okay, we have only base and we have only the height. So if base and height is given, we can construct here the parabola. And if the major axis and minor axis is given, then we can construct the ellipse. So see, it is very simple. See, if plus sign is there, the plus sign is what? It is major axis and minor axis. So we have to construct here the ellipse. And if this type of sign is there, okay, that means only above. So base and height. So then we have to construct here the parabola. Okay, so if base and height is given, parabola. If major axis and minor axis is given, then it is the ellipse. So likewise, you can remember. Okay. So this is again the same thing. You have to construct this. Okay. So this is another example. So you just refer my video lectures and the PPT. I have already all these things are given there. Now this one. Okay. Now you have to remember here the definitions of this one. Cycloid. What is cycloid? Cycloid is a curve traced by the point on the circumference of the circle, which rolls along the straight line without slipping. Okay, so this is the point on the circle, and when the circle is rolling, okay, when the circle is rolling, that's why we call this as the rolling circle or the generating circle. Okay, you have to remember these two names are also there because this is very important. The rolling circle, it is called as the rolling circle or the generating circle. Okay, and this baseline. So here the another question will be, okay, in one revolution of the circle, how much distance is covered by the circle? How much distance is covered by the circle? So that distance is equal to how much? Circumference of the circle. Okay, in one revolution, the distance covered by the circle it is equal to how much? It is equal to pi d. It is equal to pi d. Okay, so that you have to remember. This is the another question, MCQ questions on the cycloid. First is definition of the cycloid. First is definition of the cycloid. A curve generated by the point which is mounted on the circumference of the circle. This point is on this circle, and the circle is rolling. It is rotating. Okay, you take one coin and just mark there with the pen, mark the point on that coin, and then just roll it on the table. So that point will rotate and it will generate a cycloid. It will generate the cycloid. Okay. Only the thing is it will take more distance. If you take pi d distance, so that is we call that as a one revolution. So definition of the cycloid you have to remember. The circle is called as the generating circle or it is called as the rolling circle. And in one revolution or in one rotation, how much distance circle covers? So that is equal to circumference of the circle. So that you have to remember. This will be the MCQ questions in the examination. Then we have seen the next one that is our. Okay, then the another one is they will show you this type of curve. And they will ask what is the position of the P? What is the position of the point P on the circle? So if this type of, because see in MCQ question they will give you directly solution and they will ask you the condition. Okay, so if this type of curve is there, so if this is the cycloid, then what is the position of the point P is on the bottom on the ground. This is the position of the point. And if this type of curve is there, if this type of the cycloid is there, then what is the position of the point P? The point P is away from the ground. It is away from the ground. So remember these two curves, very important. Now what is in by involute? It is a single curved line traced out by the end of the string, unwounded itself from the circle. So it is, see, we can unbound or we can wound on the circle. I have told you, we have a coin. You take one coin or you take any circular object, and at the bottom you take a thread. You attach here one thread. Take the distance of that thread is equal to circumference of the circle, and then wound this thread over that circular object or circular coin. So whatever the curve which is we will get. So that is called as the involute. Okay, and what is the application of this involute? These are used in gear teeth. Okay, so I have told you they will ask you the application. So involutes are used in the gear teeth. Okay, so this is there. Then here two things again you have to remember. In case of the pentagon, the included angle is 108 degree. Okay, this is also very important. In case of pentagon, the included angle is how much? It is 108. Okay. And in case of this hexagon, the included angle is how much? It is 120 degree. So just remember these two angles, very important. In case of pentagon, the included angle is how much? 108 degree. Okay, and in case of the hexagon, the included angle is how much? It is 120 degree. So these are the two MCQ questions for pentagon and the hexagon. Okay, then the helix. Okay, now how the helix is formed? So it is a curve generated by the point moving around and along the surface of the right circular cylinder or the cone. So helix is formed in two solids. One is cylinder and the another one is what? The cone. Okay, so that you have to remember. And how this helix is formed? It is a curve traced out to the point when it is moving on the surface of the cylinder or the cone. Okay, so we get the helix. What is the example of the helix? They will show you this one, spring. In the image, they will show you the spring and they will ask you which type of the curve is this one. So you have to identify that it is a helix. So they will show you this diagram. They will ask you which type of the curve is there. This staircase or what we call as a DNA type. So they will ask you which type of the curve is there. So you have to identify that it is a helix. And helix is formed in two things. We can construct the helix in cylinder, and we can construct this on the cone also. Okay, so these are the simple types of questions on our helix and other things. Okay, and the last one we have seen as the spiral. Now, what is meant by the spiral? The spiral is defined as the locus of the point which moves around a center. So the center is called as the pole while moving towards or away from the center. Okay, that means I have told you we have constructed that one. See, this is called as the pole. This is called as the pole here. Okay, now this is our point P. It will go from end to the center or from center to the end. So there are two types of the curve. Okay, if the point P is going from end to the center, we'll get this type of curve. And if it is going from the center to the curve, so we'll get this type of curve like this. See, this curve is from this direction, from center to the end, and the above curve is what? It is from end to the center. Okay, so these two types of the curves you have to remember. So we'll get there, and this is called as what? This is called as the Archimedean spiral. So what is the example, day-to-day life example of Archimedean spiral? You have seen this one. We are using this mosquito coil. Okay, घरात आपण mosquito coil use करतो. So त्याचा जर shape बघितला तुम्ही, so if you've seen the shape of that one, so it is the Archimedean spiral. So they will show you this one, the mosquito coil in the picture, and they will ask you which type of the curve is there. So it is the Archimedean spiral. Okay. So likewise, these are the different the topics from unit number 1 and 3. You will get your MCQs today. I am just on the verge of completing the MCQs. So you will get your MCQ today and just use it for your unit test. At the same time, refer the videos also. Okay, and after the unit test, then we'll go for the assignments. Okay, for unit number 1 and 2. Okay, so this is from my side. And if you have any questions regarding the topics, you can ask me. Otherwise, you can leave the meeting. Okay, so thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.